Hi guys, this is Merc and today we are looking at top 10 facts about Wonder Woman. She is the daughter of Zeus. Wonder Woman debuted in All-Star Comics issue number 8 in December 1941. As one of the longest running comic book heroes, Wonder Woman's continuity has gone through several changes over the years. For a long time, her origin story remained the same. Her mother formed her out of a clay and she was brought to life by the Greek gods, which meant she had no father. Wonder Woman's superpowers were a result of her blessings from the gods, including superhuman strength from Demeter, the goddess of the earth, and the super speed from Hermes, the god of messenger. But her origin story was changed significantly when Brian Azzarello rebooted the character as a part of DC's recent New 52 relaunch. In the New 52 reboot, Wonder Woman is actually the daughter of Zeus, the king of the gods. William Moulton Marston created her to be a model liberated woman. In a comic book landscape dominated by male superheroes, a consultant for DC named William Moulton Marston had an idea for a modern female superhero. The character that would become Wonder Woman was partially inspired by Marston's wife, Elizabeth, along with Olive Byrne, who lived with the couple in a polyamorous relationship. Marston created the character to rival the strength of Superman, but also have all the positive characteristics that he associated with females, such as fairness and loving of peace. He originally called her Suprema the Wonder Woman, but her name was shortened before she made her comic book debut. Wonder Woman was granted her own series in 1942, and while it was meant to appeal to both sexes, the comic books included articles and advertisements designed to appeal to female audience. She was quickly accepted into the superhero world, even becoming the only female member of the Justice Society. She is the princess of the Amazons. Wonder Woman hails from Paradise Island, later dubbed Themyscira, which is home to the Amazons. Her mother is Queen Hippolyta, which makes her the princess of the Amazons. Inspired by Greek mythology, the Amazons are a race of warrior women living free from men. The story of how the Amazons came to call the island home has changed over time, with one version saying that they parted from Greece to escape the evil deeds of mankind, and another saying they are the reborn souls of abused women. All of the Amazons are well trained in combat from a young age, which makes Wonder Woman a formidable foe in a fight, thanks to her combination of combat skills and godlike powers. At one point, Batman considered Diana to be one of the best melee fighters on the planet. She is the goddess of war. In the New 52 relaunch, Diana spent her year of her childhood on the island under the guidance of Ares, the god of war, further developing her skills in combat. When she refuses Ares' orders to slay the Minotaur, choosing instead to show it mercy, she loses his favor and respect. But her tutelage and history with him becomes important later, when she is forced to kill her former mentor during a conflict with her evil half-brother. In the process, she herself becomes the new goddess of war. While the extent of her powers as war hasn't been fully explored, she can telepathically control and communicate with world's soldiers. Whether she also developed Ares' former power to raise the dead soldiers for battle is still unknown. Her bracelets keep her powers in check. Wonder Woman is one of the strongest DC superheroes, with superhuman strength that puts her at least in the same category as Superman. She has even overpowered Supergirl, who is sometimes considered more powerful than Superman. It was long thought that her silver bracelets, which were created from the remains of Zeus' shield, added to her powers since they are unbreakable and can be used offensively. But in the New 52, Wonder Woman removes her bracelets in order to fight a god, explaining that the bracelets are what actually protected her opponents from her intense power. It remains to be seen how powerful Wonder Woman is compared to other superheroes without her limiting bracelets on. She wielded Thor's hammer. Almost everyone has heard of Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, but you might be surprised at the number of characters who have wielded it in the comics who aren't actually the god of thunder, including Wonder Woman. During the 1996 Marvel vs DC crossover that pitted Marvel heroes against DC heroes, Wonder Woman gets the opportunity to try her hands on lifting Thor's hammer. In the comics, Thor loses the control of Mjolnir during a battle with Shazam. When Wonder Woman stumbles upon it, she is deemed worthy of the power and easily able to lift it. But Wonder Woman, not wanting to give her an unfair advantage, chooses to discard the hammer when it comes to time to battle with Marvel's Storm. And she ultimately loses the battle when Storm zaps her with some lightning. Wonder Woman has an invisible jet. Wonder Woman's invisible jet has been parodied so many times over the years, it's easy to forget that it is actually the part of character's mythology. The invisible jet first appeared in the early 1940s when Diana debuted. The invisible jet was created to represent the feminine compliance of the time that women felt they had to rely on to get by in male-dominated workplaces. The plane was invisible so it wouldn't be shot down by guns of man's world. As society changed, Wonder Woman used the plane less, instead relying on her own ability to fly. Wonder Woman ran for the post of US President. Though Diana hails from the fictional nation of Themyscira, this hasn't stopped her from running for the post of US President. She has actually tried and failed to be president twice. She first ran for the office in the comic book written by Marston in 1943, and then again in a cover story in MS Magazine in 1972. Her creator was also the inventor of polygraph. Wonder Woman's most familiar weapon is her Lasso of Truth, also known as the Lariat of Hestia. It was created by Hephaestus, the armorer of the gods. Marston also tried to have a lie detector test used in courtrooms, but they rejected the machine because of what they considered to be high frequency of error. He obviously wasn't too pleased with the decision, and would later go on to write a comic which show Wonder Woman try to get confessions made with the help of her Lasso of Truth. Wonder Woman plus Storm equals Amazon. The 1990s were a very strange time for the comic books, as both Marvel and DC battled falling sales that led to a lot of different gimmicks, including a crossover which merged the heroes and villains of both worlds into a new character. In the case of Wonder Woman, she was blended with the X-Men character Storm and transformed into a hero known as Amazon. Amazon actually had more in common with Storm than she did with Wonder Woman, as Aurora was a meta-mutant who was rescued and adopted by Queen Hippolyta of the Amazons. They trained her to use her weather-controlling powers, and Amazon could even create a lasso of lightning which would compel anyone who was bound by it to speak the truth. Thank you so much for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and comment about what top 10 video would you like to see next. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.